Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the MLB slate for Wednesday, May 26th. We have 9 baseball games tonight, so let's go ahead and get right into it. As always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter at the DFS Process. Check out the website if you want. Link is in the description, and let's get started. So looking at the totals for this slate, we have a couple of teams that I really like. My favorite stack is going to be the Red Sox stack today. They're going up against Drew Smyly with the wind blowing out at home. That is already a bump in that ballpark, and the wind blowing out is just an added boost. This lineup is super powerful, especially Martinez has been having an awesome season after he had a down year last year. He's bounced right back, especially against lefties. He's a monster. You can go Kike Hernandez. He's great against lefties as well, batting leadoff. Throw in like Renfroe as a value at $3,600. Vasquez as your catcher or Bogarts. They look very good to stack up. The second stack that I like is the Nats against Jeff Hoffman. They're just nicely priced. You can go like cheap with Castro, Harrison. You can go expensive with like Josh Bell, Soto, Turner. They are looking good against Hoffman at home. The Yankees get a face-off against a pitcher making his debut. He was great in AAA and in the minor leagues. We'll see how he fares in the big leagues. Always uncertainty surrounding guys making their debut. He's definitely going to have some jitters. Yankees bats are pretty powerful. I still looked at them as a stack. They're probably like my third or fourth favorite stack behind the Nats and the Red Sox. And then got to throw the Braves in the mix just because they also get that added boost in Fenway. Pivetta been decent this year for the Red Sox, but he still gives up power, especially against lefties. So Albies, Freeman, Acuna, just because he's so good. They look like a nice like 3-man stack. And then just sprinkling in some value plays in some other spots. Like on the Rays, you can get Taylor Walls. Projected about 8th. He could jump into like the 6th hole. He's $2,200. He's been good for them since they shipped Willy Adames to Milwaukee. And that's it. I think the Red Sox, Yankees, Nats, and then the Braves are the ones you want to focus on. You can mix in some value. And then I think the Giants could go a bit overlooked. They have been good this year offensively. They're pretty affordable, especially if Belt's in the lineup. He would make a difference in terms of stacking them up. Yastrzemski is very expensive, though, so he'll be super low owned. Kind of tough to get him in your cash lineup, but tournaments, he'll make some sense. So pitching options today, you have Glasnow. He's $10,500. Going up against Casey, they have the lowest total on the slate. Glasnow had his worst start of the season, just negative 1.5 against the Blue Jays. They hit him hard. Even though he did get 10 ground balls, the 3 fly balls that he gave up, 2 of the 3 went and left the yard, so that's not going to help. It is a lot different of a ballpark. Toronto ballpark is super hitter friendly. He's going back at home here against the Casey offense, which does strike out a bit, and he's been great at home this year. I think he'll bounce right back after a tough start. He's my favorite pitcher to pay up for, especially with Trevor Bauer, who's great, but he's facing off against the Astros, who are a lot scarier of an offense. And then as a second SP2, there's not a ton that looks great. Like I don't think I want to go with 2 guys above $9,000 as my pitcher. Spend down a little bit, and I think a guy that makes some sense is like a Chris Paddock. Been playing him a decent amount recently. He's been good. Good against the Mariners in his last start. Not tough to do good against them. But like the fact that his pitch count went back over 90. He still has shown the strikeout upside this year, averaging just about a strikeout per inning. He's only given up 3 home runs, so he's not getting crushed in that category. He's just been getting unlucky a bit with the BABIP. And I still think you can attack some of these Milwaukee hitters against strikeout pitchers, and Paddock is definitely that. At $7,700, looking at this range, there's not a ton of other pitchers that give you similar upside and like similar safety. Like I feel more comfortable going Paddock than guys like Eric Lauer, Joe Ross, Johnny Cueto. Obviously, I don't want to play Smiley, and then like Marquez is fine as well. He's 67 against the Mets, but I feel like Paddock can do the job as well. But I think Marquez also my second option I would look to as an SP2. And then filling out the bats here with some of the Red Sox stacks and then some of the value that I like. First bat that I want to go ahead and put in is Josh Bell. He is $4,400. He's somewhat, I think he's priced where he should be, but he's been so good recently. I want to get guys that are hot. Batting 400 in his last 10 games, 2 home runs. Great spot against Hoffman. At home, he's been good with a 467 slugging, and recently you've seen him just hitting a lot of multiple hit games, back-to-back 2-hit games. He had a 3-hit game recently. Just hitting the ball hard, not striking out as much as he was earlier in the season. Just a great sign and a great matchup. The value play is Taylor Walls. He's $2,200. You can play him at second base or shortstop. Go ahead and put him in at shortstop for a guy that hits the ball well, not a strikeout. I mean, he can strike out at times as well, but hits the ball for a decent average. In the minor leagues, he was batting solidly. Let's see if the numbers are definitely here. He was batting 279 with a 417. Only had he does have a good walk rate as well. He's not like a top prospect, but without Willy Adames, he's basically their shortstop and also plays some second base. But he's the guy that can also has some power as he's shown in the minor leagues, but has already a couple of extra base hits out of his 4 hits. 2 of them went for doubles. Just a cheap hitter against a lefty. And Mike Minor, he's a switch hitter, so that helps. And then in the outfield, looking to pay up for JD Martinez. You can go Martinez, Soto, and even Acuna. They all look great. I want to try to get to at least one of them. And I think Martinez is probably in the best spot. He's been so good against lefties. For his entire career, it's not been much of a difference this year. And at home, he's been unbelievable with a 366 average and a 604 slugging and 100-plus at-bats. I think he'll be able to do some damage today against Drew Smyly. And then second base, I like going Kike Hernandez, a leadoff hitter, who is also very good against lefties. If you look at his numbers back when he was with the Dodgers, he's missed some time this year. He's only played 37 games, but he does have 5 home runs during that stretch. He bats leadoff, so he could be looking at 5 at-bats today. And just a solid overall hitter against lefties is where I want to attack him. So this is it for the DraftKings picks. Red Sox favorite stack, Nats second stack, and then going just with some value plays elsewhere like a Taylor Walls, I think makes some sense. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's jump over to FanDuel. So on FanDuel here, pitching-wise, you have Bauer and Glasnow as your 2 expensive pitchers. Both are playable, but Glasnow is definitely my preferred option. He gets a much better opponent to square off against, and he's like $800 cheaper. So go ahead and put in Glasnow. And then for some of these bats here, like Josh Bell is somewhat expensive, but he still looks appealing. He's $3,300. You can go with a Christian Vasquez. He's only $2,400 as your catcher option. He does have power against lefties. Some cheap hitters that are just way underpriced are like Starlin Castro. He is only $2,200. He is just way too cheap. Third base on the Yankee side, you can get Gio Urshela, also at just $2,200. Also very incredibly cheap. And then that'll allow me to pay up for some bats in the outfield. Be able to pay up for JD Martinez. Be able to get to even like Ronald Acuna if we wanted to. Or do like the Nat stack, so I might be able to put in like a Juan Soto. Save some money, plug him in at $4,000. Still leaves you with $2,925. And there's still plenty of other cheap options to consider. But Soto, he's got off to a slow start because he missed some time in the beginning of the year. He's starting to hit the ball a lot better recently, showing off some power, and starting to hit the ball with some multiple hits recently. Won't be long before his average gets over like 290, I would say, and the home runs will come. So that is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck tonight.